Most AI agent demos are too clean because you only see them after they worked. I want to show the messier version, a real web shop, real tracking problems, real business decisions, and agents helping me audit the work instead of pretending they run the whole company. It's not about replacing the founder, it's more about giving the founder a better operating system. I do not want to become another guy reading out 5 AI tools. There is enough of that. What I care about is whether agents can help run real parts of a business with real clients and actually money involved. The case is a real web shop I've built. And the problem was not that the business had no activity or sales. The problem was that the activity was scattered. The website said one thing, ads lived somewhere else, analytics had another version of reality, newsletter ideas were in another tool, and the founder is supposed to turn all of those into good decisions every week. And that's the part I wanted to fix. This system cannot just be one prompt. The business context lives across different tools. And as we can see here, the website shows the offer. Google Ads shows demand and spend pressure. Analytics shows what it can see and sometimes what it cannot see. Like we see here, the last conversions are not yet in here. Then Klaviyo holds the newsletter and retention layer, and Shopify handles all the orders. And then we have Paperclip, which delegates the work into different agents. They have different skills and different personas, which are specialized in doing certain tasks. And then we have Hermes, where I actually cook through the work and delegates all the tasks. And the trick is not to stare at all of these tools. The trick is to pull the right signal into the next human decision. Brain from this business is not one pretty dashboard. It is a feedback loop. Business context comes in, tool signals come in, infrastructure pulls the pieces together, agents create tasks, drafts and checks, and then there's a human approval gate before anything public, expensive or risky happens. That is the boring part, but it is also the difference between useful agents and chaos. Let me show you how that looks in practice. Regarding the newsletter on Saturday, change the schedule to Friday, make the first photo a little bit brighter, and do me a favor and send me some screenshots from the newsletter so I can review it and forward it to the shop owner. That voice note does not magically become a finished business decision. It becomes work. Telegram passes the instruction into the workflow. Hermes starts working. Then tasks appear, as we can see here. Newsletter send time, checks, first image direction, screenshot for review, claim checks, and yeah, sometimes human approval if necessary. But the important boundary here, the agents can prepare and show options, but it cannot send the newsletter in this case. Then I actually work through the task with Hermes. This is not glamorous. It is a lot of asking the system to inspect, compare, draft, challenge, and verify. Regarding the newsletter prompt from the car, it tells me here, based on previous data, Sunday at 3:30 p.m. would be a good time. And furthermore, down here, it makes me aware that the stock in the shop is low on 2 items. And this happens because there is a system built in the background which pulls all the different data streams together and learns from it. So even if we are not even speaking about that, it understands the important parts and informs me about related information, which is awesome. Before I trust an output, I want to check the signals around it. In this case, what does Google Analytics and what does Google Ads say? Same signals. Let's have a look. So if we go here in Google Ads, we can see that in the last 7 days, there have been 2 conversions, so 2 sales. And if we go over to analytics, which is a tool which should also show those sales and some other signals too, we can see here that there are 0 sales, some good signals from users, but there are no sales. And there is something going on with the data set which doesn't align. So let's have a look what actually goes on here. I start a new session here and ask it basically that there is some misalignment between our 2 tools, Google Analytics and Google Ads, and if it can have a look into our data system and tell me what's going on basically. And until we wait a little bit until that finishes, just a few things to keep in mind while working with agents. So here we can see a very important metric. It shows 0 from 272K. That means, so that's the context window. Agents or models work with context. So for example, if you have a new session and you keep on adding and asking it all the time and you don't make a new session, it will get from time to time worse. So the output will get worse. It will compact its whole context. It always needs to load the whole context within, every time you ask it, it needs to load the whole context again. And that makes it more, unspecific, less reliant. So it can be very good to actually start with every problem or everything you want to discuss, start always new in a fresh session. And therefore, context windows, a lot of people in the AI industry say up to 100K is where the AI model actually is really, really good and gets the best output. So I try to keep one session for a specific problem or issue or something I want to talk about it. And then I often have several sessions next to each other and work on different things, just to keep that in mind to get a good output. So while that works in the background, I will wait until it's finished and then show you the response and actually how we can fix it. First round, I just asked it to make analysis and tell me what's going on and then come with some solutions right away. After a few minutes, it analyzed the situation and tells me that there is a property report mismatch. So there are 2 properties and the data set seems fine. So all the data is here, but in the UI, which has a different property, the data are not shown visually. So it tells me at the end, if I want, we can mirror those properties and basically the events will also be shown then in the UI. So that's normally the case how I analyze such things and then give it command to actually resolve such issues. The system I have built here is useful because it gets work done and asks me for important decisions. But there are things I do not let it decide. It does not spend money, it does not send emails, it does not publish or talk to customers, only if I allow it. I have put together a PDF where that whole system is described in detail and also a file which you can download and give any AI like OpenClaw, Hermes, Codex or Clock Code, and it will instruct your agent on how to implement those skills and systems. I recommend giving it to your AI and ask it what's in it and how you can use it for your project and your way of working before just implementing it right away. So the real product is not the prompt and it's not the tool stack. The real product is the weekly operating loop. What changed? What did the tool show? What did the agents find? Which claim is safe? Which action need a human decision? And if you can answer that every week, the business starts building memory. This is the kind of build I want to keep documenting. Real businesses, real constraints, agents doing useful work, and humans still owning the important calls. So if you run a business and your decisions are still spread across 5 different tools, comment with the first process where you feel you are guessing too much. And I might use those examples for future builds.